DJ Immortal, live in the mix.
Alright, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with none other than the legendary East Coast legendary DJ, DJ 2020. How you doing this evening?
I'm alright, just got back in, had to make a run outside, pick up some things for the kids, but I had to make sure I got back to get in time with you to get on the air.
Hey man, that's what's up, man. You know, and this COVID-19 stuff is just crazy, man. You know, it's making it really hard for people to even get to the store.
What? That's why I'm glad I live where I live, because where I'm at, everything is kind of like tight. That's why like all of what they call them, the essential spots, they're kind of like right here, so I could get to them, you know?
So you're still located in New York City, eh?
Of course.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. So I gotta ask you, what made you decide to get into the music industry to begin with?
Basically, this goes all the way back to when I was like, let me say, like 10. My mother used to throw these parties at her house, like, you know how the 70s was. Well, I don't know if you exactly know, but the people that listen know how the 70s was. And my mother used to always throw these parties, and she used to have, like, all the up-and-coming DJs come to our house, because it was like, it was a house party. But these was before these people were the people they were, like Flash, people like that would come up. But all these DJs that used to come up, they DJ at my mother's parties just to be there. And I was always the kid due to the fact that it was an adult party. I was always the kid that was told to go in the room, me and my brother, you know what I mean? So we always tried to find ways to be a part of the party, whether it was help give out drinks, not like liquor, and then, but regular soft drinks, food, stuff like anything to be in the party. Even if we played the cleanup crew, we was out there. And I like what I saw when every time I got a chance to get out the room, I liked what I saw. I liked to see the crowd dancing, my mother and her friends having a good time. And I'm telling you, the house was packed. And I don't know, I just like that because at one time I was a rapper. If you don't know, I started out as a rapper. I was MC Shakespeare. That's what they used to call. And I used to rap. But after a couple of those parties and hanging out with my friend Papa, he was a DJ at the block. He was one of the biggest DJs on our block right there on Cypress Ave, Brook Avenue, Big Up, in the Bronx, South Bronx. And I just got open off of the DJ part of the whole thing rather than the rhyming part. Even though I was his MC for a minute. Not a rapper, I was his MC for a minute. You understand?
That's actually pretty cool. I actually did not know that you were an MC, and I have to ask, when you were, MC Shakespeare, what made you decide to get into rapping, initially? I always just thought you were a DJ.
No, I was a rapper first. I was Shakespeare. What I'm saying, because that's what was going on at the time. We talking about the times of UTFO, Roxanne Shante, Melly Mel, Sugar Hill Gang. I'm going back, Mean Machine, MC Shaw Rock. It was stuff like that going on at the time, and rapping was the way to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I liked it. I liked the fact of being a wordsmith and putting words together to make sense, to get across what you're trying to say, but in a poetic type way. You know what I mean?
And you are also the CEO at Word on the Streets Enterprise. I have to ask you, can you tell us a bit more about that, and what made you decide to start that company?
Oh, I started that was another way back then. Like I said, we going back to 1985 now. I was what? Let me see, 15 at that time. And it started off with Comatose Records. That's what I was building first. It was Comatose Records, 20 Sack Entertainment. That was my weed moment. I was heavily into the weed, so I called my company 20 Sack, and I built it from there. But then it became Word on the Streets when I started doing radio interviews, and I was the word on the street. If you ever wanted to know anything, you would come to the Word on the Streets because I dabbled in everything, and I'm very inquisitive. I like to know things. I'm a sponge. Just like we said with this COVID thing. Trust me, I studied this whole thing down pat. I'm looking at the conspiracy theories, all that. But that's what Word on the Street is about. We're always going to get the word to our public, not everybody in the world, because we're not newscasters, but then we're newscasters in our neighborhoods, and we let everybody know what's going on in a way that they'll understand either the severity of it or just basically what's going on, what's popping, what to look out for, what not to be. It was
Yeah.
It just was a brainstorm idea.
And also, when you mentioned actually radio, I have to ask you. So you were also a radio host with New York Fleet DJs. Can you? I actually was wondering, how did you and the Fleet DJs get connected, and like what made you decide to get into radio?
Well, that goes back to the word on the streets thing. It's the same concept. It was like I saw a coalition that was doing something. I mean, like DJs big up, they heavy in the streets and they heavy in the States too. Like we everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Like seriously, I didn't even know it was that deep till once again I did the research and I realized how deep Fleet DJs was. But I was already a part of it at that time. But what made me want to get down with them was just based on them stats. The fact that they was everywhere, they very informative, they keep you on top of things, and they didn't play when it came to their conventions and being involved in the hip-hop community and everything about hip-hop. That's what they're about. They're about hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. And I wanted to, because there was also another group that I wanted to get down with was Core DJs too, but it was just like Fleet DJs was that way to go. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And also in the actual early '90s, you were signed to G Street Independent. I have to ask you, how did that record label come to be for you?
That was because my partner listed me. At first, he was working in a clothing store. I was killing the block because right at that point in time, I was the DJ of the block. I had South Bronx on lock, no lie. I had all Brook Ave. I had all Willis Avenue. I had all Alexander Avenue, Patterson Projects, Millbrook Projects, Bigger, Cypress Avenue. I had that whole South Bronx thing down packed as a DJ. I was the man. You know, I was the go-to guy on some DJ shit. So at that point, he was working in the clothing store. He used to write rhymes on anything. This guy would write rhymes on notebook paper. You know, he in the clothing store, so he would write rhymes on the tags. He would take the tags off the clothes and be writing little pieces and bits of rhymes. And me and him used to go to school together. I used to go to school together also with the legendary Fat Joe.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fat Joe wasn't signed yet at the time when we was going to school. That's when he had finally opened up Halftime. If you know about Halftime, his clothing store.
I heard of that, yeah.
He used to run his baseball team in South Bronx High School because that's the school we went to. We both went to South Bronx High School. And I used to always try, we used to do the table thing, like banging the beat on the table and rhyming me and my man TNT, also known as Big Dak. Me and him, we was like the crew in South Bronx High School. We was killing all rappers. We was coming through. We wasn't playing. We was also into drama, theater. So we was going to these different schools, doing all this stuff. And one day, Mr. Me came to me and he was asking me if I would like to go to California because somebody had offered him something to come out and be on one of their records because he had rhymes for them or something. And so he came, he knocked on my door. He shocked me. When he first knocked on my door talking about going to California, I thought he was just playing. You know what I'm saying? Because he always like that. You know, I was the type of guy, I didn't have time for the games because don't come tell me we going somewhere to do something and you just playing around basically. So, but he wasn't playing. He had the plane tickets and everything. We went out there. We met Joe Quiggs, MC Sway. Y'all know Sway right now, Sway in the Morning and all of that. But we met him, and they did this song called Bust Your Rhymes. Then King Tech and Joe Quiggs came up with an idea to set. They did this all in the same night. It's like we sampled up of some James Brown beats. They banged out the beat. King Tech did the scratches and all that because at that time, I wasn't really familiar with them, so I wasn't really trying to too much touch nobody's equipment because I'm from New York. We out there in California, KMEL Radio, but we in their studio. So, I dabbled in. I got in to make sure I get my piece, you know what I'm saying, because we crew. But right there, they developed this song, and it was called Unsolved Mystery, so we did it. So since Sway had his own label called All City Productions, he decided he wanted to put us on the B-side for that song Unsolved Mystery because he was trying to sell Bust Your Rhymes because that was, their project. That's why that was on the A side. But when he started servicing it out to all the DJs, you ever heard the story of the Magnificent B-sides?
I heard of that, yes.
Trying to flip it, right, and they kept flipping over to the B-side. They didn't, I'm not going to say they didn't like Busta Rhymes, but they was more intrigued with Unsolved Mystery. So what happened was we flew back to New York because we stayed out there for a good deal with Sway and them, just being on the radio, just vibing. And once we got back to New York, my manager Kev came back to me and he called me on the phone and he was like, yo, this company in New York want us to come, to talk a deal. And I'm like, what company in New York? Because we didn't service nobody in New York. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We was working with All City. So a New York group, but our work was based in California. So we were looking for it to come from California to New York, but on their label. But it didn't happen like that. What happened was Sway sold everything, the rights and everything, to Island Records. Island Records turned around and put us to their subsidiary label, which was G Street, because that was, I guess, their hip-hop label. And they put us on there with Grave Diggers, Dougie Fresh, Stereo MCs, PM Dawn. There was a few of us on there, Prince Paul. But we was the new kids on the block once we got there. And right out the gate, as soon as they re-released, we had to go in the studio and redo Unsolved Mystery, because of a rights thing. You can't have everything the same on two records because they, it was already pressed on All City. So we had to doctor it up just a little bit for G Street. That's why if you look at some of the comments anywhere on the internet that they talking about Unsolved Mystery, they always talking about the two different versions. You understand? There's the All City version, which everybody said was the best. Then there was the G Street version. And the only difference in both of them was the lyrics, because we had to flip the lyrics. We couldn't have the same lyrics on both labels.
And also,
we got picked up.
One of my favorite records that you and Mr. Meme did was actually Let Me Explain. I have to ask you, what is the inspiration and story behind that iconic record? Because that's one of my absolute favorite East Coast records.
Yeah. That's all our job. We want to let people know, let us explain who we are. Because at that time, everybody was on I'm this, I'm that. And we didn't want to come across with that concept of being this and that. We are who we are. Basically, you're keeping it real concept. We were just who we were, and we wanted to explain to y'all who we were. And that's it. And we made a whole album. The whole album is called Let Me Explain. And every track explains what we about, who we are, why we here, and what we trying to do at that time.
And I have to say, you guys did one hell of an amazing job on that record. It's absolutely one of my absolute favorites, and I still listen to it to this day. So, and I have to ask you before we get off the topic of that.
To be honest with you, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
To be honest with you, yeah, that was actually one of the first times in history, if you really do your Google due diligence, that was one of the first where the artist really had creative control too, because we was in control of the whole project. We went to whatever studio we wanted to, we used whatever beats we wanted to, we wrote whatever we wanted to write, and we also picked how the album was going to be constructed.
That's actually really big, especially in the early 90s. You guys really didn't get, no artists really got those opportunities.
No, that's what I'm saying. We was one of the first to really have it. If we weren't the first, we were the second.
And I have to ask you, just before we get off the topic of him, do you think in the near future there'll be any work between DJ 2020 and Mr. Meme?
Well, Mr. Meme, I don't know where he's at this point. The last time I heard he was to Puerto Rico, and that was the last time I heard. I would love to do something like that because we really needed to get our just due. Because at that time, it was hard for us to get our just due. Because when we dropped, you got to understand, Biggie dropped, Craig Mag dropped, Black Moon was out. We dropped in the essence. You understand? Everybody, every heavy hitter was out when we dropped. So a lot of our work got overshadowed. And then at the same time, it was a lot, to be honest with you, there was a lot of back and forth with the label because once we really got to understand what was going on after the success of Unsolved Mystery, after the success of Playtime's Over, we started to want to do like what what's her name? Megan Thee Stallion going through right now?
Yeah.
At that time, we was trying to renegotiate because we felt once we dropped this album, that it was going to be what it was going to be. And since they were doing too much back and forth with us about dropping the album, I guess it wasn't me, myself, and I'm not going to point fingers, but I'm a real dude, but it wasn't taken too well. So a lot of shows we went to, hotels got knocked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we wasn't acting the way we were supposed to act when we was going on these shows, because to be honest, dudes were upset. Dudes were upset, but you still sending us on this 13-state tour. We doing all this, but we ain't getting the money we want. We ain't getting, like, we wanted certain properties, like, clothes and outfits, and you still got us wearing stuff made by these guys called Two Black Guys. We didn't want to wear them outfits no more. We wanted to pick and choose, like the artists do now. We wanted to pick and choose our wares and we went to wear. We know we needed certain type of money when we was going out there to, to look like artists, to live like artists, but they had us living like we were still coming out the hood. We rolling with our own pocket money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got me on the 13th state tour with my own pocket money.
Wow, crap.
I can't even buy bottles. I can't buy bottles. We chilling with Red Alert. They doing it up. Red Alert called me a bum. I got offended. I thought he was calling me a bum for real. But then when he explained it to me, he was calling me a black ultimate man. So I respect, big respect to Red Alert. You know what I'm saying? But I took it personal because of the fact that literally I was broke sitting at the table. I'm sitting here with cool Chuck Chill Out, Red Alert, everybody that was popping at the Jungle Brothers. We were sitting with the heavy hitters that had bread in their pocket, and we chilling with project money.
Wow.
That kind of turned us off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So we got a little ironic. Mr. Meeks destroyed a couple of hotel rooms, and when we got back to the company, we heard it, we was warned, but they still never renegotiated. So Mr. Meeks was still on his thing, and next thing you knew, we was removed from the deal. But then Island Records picked us up.
What was it like actually working for Island Records? Because I know back then, like, Island Records was such a really huge record label.
Yeah, I believe they still are. I mean, they were bought out by somebody. I believe somebody owns shares. Is it Universal or somebody that owns shares in them now?
I believe so, yes.
I'm not 100%. I'm not 100%, but I know at one time, yes, they was really powerful when I was there, and we was chilling. They picked us back up, and we were supposed to do another album, but at this time, now you got beef within the group, because me and Mr. Me going back and forth, because I didn't like the image that he was putting forth for the group. All these little things that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't showing up for meetings. I'm not trying to throw him on the bus. I'm just being real. He wasn't showing up for magazine interviews, meetings, and I understood why. Because of the negotiation thing. But it made our group start to look bad to the label. You know what I mean?
It's completely understandable.
I didn't want to lose the deal. I didn't want to lose the deal because I was starving for a deal at the time. But I had already worked at various labels. You know what I'm saying? I already worked at Sleeping Bag. I already worked at Vince Entertainment Records with Vincent and Felicia Davis. I was already at Big Beat. But I was a gopher and other little things. That's how I learned to work the studio, from dealing with these guys. That when I got to G Street Island Records, basically I was a diamond in the rough. I was already polished. I was ready to do what I had to do. But now it was the whole point of working with somebody else. And that's what became the thing that I didn't really study into, how to deal with people. But I'm not going to leave that on a sour note, because at the same time that they let the group go, John Baker, which was president of G Street, he did ask me, did I have something else at that time? And I didn't have another artist because I was a loyal producer. I'm a loyal DJ. If I'm working with you, I'm working with you. Kind of a cold lesson to learn. You know what I mean? I should have been working with other artists too, because he did extend his hand to give me another deal on the solo.
And but I gotta say though, even after all these years, you're now known as the legendary DJ 2020, man. So you went from, like you said, being broke, not having a lot of food, to becoming a legend, man. And I have to ask you, how does that make you feel, going from the bottom all the way to the top?
It's hard work. It's hard work. It's not easy. Even though I'm still not living my best life, to be honest, I'm good, though. I'm chilling. I got a beautiful wife. I got my kid. So I'm fine. I'm a simple person. I don't want everything everybody. I would love to have it, but I don't want everything everybody got. You know what I mean? I'm a simple guy. But the title, that title right there, crazy. I'm flipping over backwards. You can't see me through the phone. I'm flipping over backwards being legendary. I love it. I love it because I know I was a pioneer. A lot of people don't understand. I was in this game before this game was the game.
And you know, not a lot of individuals can say that either. I was just saying, not a lot of individuals can actually say that either.
No, hell no. I could literally sit here and say it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I could literally sit here and say it. I could tell people, look, I started to think of no disrespect to none of those that passed away. But every time somebody passes away, that moves me up. You understand? Because then I turn around to be the only one still alive that came from an era where hip-hop began.
And that's true, man.
That's why I gotta own that legendary. I gotta own that iconship. Even though a lot of people don't see me that much, they don't see me out there like that, and they're like, "Yo, 20, where you at? What you doing?" I'm still. You can't take that title from me. I've been here longer than a lot of people. If it wasn't for me, a lot of people wouldn't even be here.
And speaking of also pioneer, you are also related to the legendary MC War Flattop. I have to ask you, what was it like growing up with an MC?
That's my son. I love that dude. He crazy though. I love him a lot though, because you know why? Because at one time after the G Street deal, I ain't gonna lie, for a minute there, you fall into, whenever you lose anything good, you fall into that moment of, I'm not going to say despair, but you fall back for a minute because you're trying to assess what just happened. You just had this in the palm of your hand, and now it's gone. But you know what he did? Excuse me. He came back. He said, "Yo, 20, I got this label I'm working on. It's called MC War Flattop Records." He said, "You want to do something, man?" He said, "Come on, man," because, he saw I was in the slump, too. He seen I was desperate to put something out because it's now been almost a year after the G Street Island deal that I haven't done anything. He opened the door for me. That opened more of the door for people to see that I was still out there, I was still alive, I was still functioning, and I was now open to working with groups.
And I have to say, MC War Flattop is an amazing individual, a very, very talented guy as well. Do you think in the future you guys will be putting another project together?
Yeah, we're just talking about that. Like I said, for everybody that don't understand, that's my real cousin right there. He's my real cousin. That's my blood cousin. I'm talking about, that's why I only can say, nobody else can say this. I can say the dude is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? The dude is crazy, man, but I love this dude. Because he takes his craft very seriously. Y'all can't tell that dude nothing about hip-hop. Y'all can't tell him about Zulu Nation. Y'all can't tell him nothing. Know why? Because, honestly, he did all that. And he's still doing it. Right now, he do a bunch of lives right now, and he be having me cracking up. But you know what? If you sit down and listen to what he's saying, the brother be speaking the truth, bro. Real talk. The brother speaks the truth. He just speaks the truth in his way, but the brother be speaking the truth. And I love him for that because and I guess it's in the bloodline. It's like, no matter what, no matter how old we get, that's why I'm mad about this old fake ass, excuse my French, but this age cap thing. There's no age cap on hip hop. There's no age cap on music because why is there an age cap on hip hop, but there's an age cap on country music? There's an age cap on R&B. There's an age cap on Spanish music. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no age cap on only hip hop. They want to have an age cap. I believe if you making good music, sell it. I don't care how old are you. An artist could jump out the window right now at 55 years old and drop something hot. If it's hot, it's hot. I'm going to still buy it. I'm not going to base it on his age. Oh, he's 55. I'm not buying that. Nah, if it's hot, it's hot.
And I agree with that. I really do, because I got to touch base on that quickly when you said that. When people love to put an age gap on stuff, but I look at it as, from my opinion, like you said, no matter how old they are, as long as they have their breath control, as long as they can still perform, and be in the studio. It doesn't matter, man. As long as they're making them hot records and making that real hip hop substance, it doesn't matter. You know, that's what I look at it
Well, we
as.
still got Elton John out there. He's singing the same songs that y'all still dancing on.
It's true.
But I'm saying, we still got, what's the old guy, Willie Nelson, he's still out there. Snoop's still out there.
I agree with that. You know, and Snoop Dogg is actually doing a lot of work for his age, man. Like, he actually is producing a lot of records.
So where does fake age cap came from? Social media?
I think it's just people's opinions. I truthfully don't know. I don't think there's an age gap in hip hop. Truthfully, I
I don't believe it.
I feel as long as, like I said, as long as you have some talent still, you still have your proper breath control, you can still make proper records. I don't think. I think you should be able to be in hip hop as long as you want. You know, as long as you're producing them hits. That's a good.
I don't care if you're in a wheelchair by now. And you got a hot soul. Special was in a wheelchair right now, but he still get on the stage and do I Got It Made, then do it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter because it should not matter. It's about talent. It's not about age. I don't know where that came in at, but I just had to say something about that because I be seeing that a lot on social media when people be like, oh, if you 40-something, you need to sit down. No, I agree with that. Don't be 40 years old and now decide you want to do hip-hop. No, sit down. But if you've been in the game, and you've been striving, you're a pioneer, and you're a legend, and you've been in this game, can nobody put an age cap on you because I could drop something at any given moment. I could put out the next best thing, and y'all don't even know it was me.
That's real talk.
Because remember, I write too. This is what I'm saying. I got an album out there right now called The Lost Tapes, and I'm selling it independently, and I'm still killing them. Okay, let's say 1,500 ain't a lot of copies to be sold industry-wise. But for me to sell 1,500 copies from my living room, that's an achievement. I'm like, what? I got 1,500 people still love me.
And that's true.
And this is raw.
And that was actually next in my question list, surprisingly. So, like, when you brought up the Lost Tapes, we're skipping ahead quite a few years here to 2018. You released the album DJ 2020's The Lost Tapes. I have to ask you, what's the inspiration behind that record, and where can our listeners buy or stream themselves a copy?
Well, The Lost Tapes became an idea because it was like, okay, if you go back, because I worked with a lot of artists even after Mr. Me, but let's go back to the Mr. Me years to keep it short. Mr. Me was the rapper, I was the DJ, but remember what I told you in the beginning of this conversation, I was a rapper.
Yeah.
When we finally got the big deal with Island, to be honest with you, I wanted to rap. But I couldn't because we were signed as me being the DJ, he's the rapper, kind of a Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince thing. So that's what I was so asked. And to be honest, like Mr. Me left me room to rap. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the side eye. I'm giving you the side eye on that. Because I don't know if it was because he thought I would out-rap him. But I didn't push too hard on him to want to rap either. I respected everybody's space. I'm the DJ producer. You're the rapper. Let's keep it like that. But in reality, I did want to rap. Because this was the deal of a lifetime to get heard by nationwide, countryside. You know what I mean? But I didn't do it because I wanted to stay in my position. So people need to learn a lesson from that. If you want to do something, just do it. Don't sit back and sometimes you got to break the rules. And I should have broke the rules at that time and at least rap on a song or put out a song while I had that chance. But that's what The Lost Tapes about. It's all that trapped up energy, all them trapped up writing, songs I wrote back then that I wanted to do. All I had to do was update the beats. I haven't messed around, got a little money, and I bought me a full studio in my house. So now I could do anything. You understand what I'm saying? And there ain't no little bitty studio. I got a nice studio in my house, not to brag, but it's enough for me to do what I want to do. And I also took classes in engineering. I also took classes in mastering. So I just embellished my craft more. So I was not only a rapper, DJ, producer, I'm also a studio engineer. I'm also a mastering engineer. You understand? And it goes on. I'm also a manager. I do business management because I took courses in that. So I was a busy little beaver after that. But that that's what the Lost Tapes is about. It's all that pent-up energy and all those songs I've been wanted to put out and do me. Basically, that's what it is. It's a Do Me album. I wanted to do me, and I finally got a chance to do me.
And you know what? It sounds like an amazing record. It really does. So anybody that's listening right now, make sure you all get yourselves a copy.
Bronx style, gruff, razor sharp, edge, beats, rhymes. I'm writing and people will take the time to listen. I'm actually talking. You will put me up there with the Commons and Kanye's because I'm actually talking to them. I'm telling y'all something. I'm being real with y'all. I'm claiming my legendary status. I'm claiming my iconic status. But I'm also telling you what's going on in the world, too.
And also on March 20th of actually not too long ago, so 5 days ago, you did a Meet the DJs event in Austin, Texas. Can you tell us a bit more about that event and what was that experience like, being able to greet the fans after all these years?
Let me get you with that. I'm mad they canceled that because of this COVID thing.
Crap! I just totally forgot the COVID-19 crap.
XSW in Austin, Texas. I was supposed to be the premier artist out there. They was flagging me right now. Do you understand? This was my chance to shine, at least in Austin, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And this COVID-19 came through and put an end to that. It's never over, though, but it just put an end to that for right now. Whenever they do, I guess they'll give me the spot back because I feel like they owe me that because I was prepared and everything. You know, I'm also dealing with the museums and everything, too, right?
I believe MC War Flattop told me about that. The Hip Hop Museum in Washington D.C.
That's what Geechee Dan. Yeah, me and him still talking. I'm still waiting for him to induct me, but he has a lot of people that he's inducting first. But I'm waiting for him to induct me. But actually, it's the Universal Hip Hop Museum in the Bronx too, Mr. Adam Silverstein.
Oh, nice.
Me and him are working together right now because, like he said, and me and him had this conversation together on the phone, and he said the area is right there on 139th and 3rd Avenue in the South Bronx. There's no way you can put a museum there and not have me and Mr. Me included in that museum. We started from there. How you going to put a museum there and not have us there? And he agreed with me totally. And he said, all I got to do now is just send him the memorabilia that I want to put on display.
And also, on April 18th, I do want to ask, you actually are going to be performing at the Garage Bar and Lounge. Is that event still happening currently, or did that one get canceled?
Here we go again, the goddamn COVID-19. You know, they got us on a lockdown, right? Like, we got to stay in our house.
I knew about that. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it because I wanted to, if it was still going by any means necessary, I could help you sell some tickets.
And
right?
This coronavirus thing, come on now. This shut us down. That they don't want to see, because that party was going to be packed. Trust me, I tell you, we had everybody in their mama coming. You know how many tickets I sold? You know how much money my DJ friend, DJ Super C, he looked out on this party because he told me I deserve it. Because, you know, I'm going on 50 years old, and he was tired of me throwing parties at my house for my birthday, so he did something special for me. But not just for me, all Aries and Taurus, but for him to call me up and say, yo, I want you over here, and I want to throw your birthday party. We sold a lot of tickets, man. We sold a lot of tickets for April 18th, and we crossing our fingers. Some of us is running with Trump right now to get this done by Easter, but, you know, we can't control no virus. But that would be a good look. And if you can control it, then April 18th is on and popping. If not, then we already told people, you know, if they want their money back, hit us up. If not, you can use them. Them tickets are redeemable for the next event after this COVID-19 thing. You know, you could come to any other event because he's going to make an event happen. He's not going to take this line down. And you know, after all this being locked down and all that, the first club open with a party, everybody and their mother going to be there. So I know this is going to be sensational if it take off at the right time.
Oh, most definitely agree. Once this COVID's over, everyone's going to be partying. I can agree with that, especially in New York. The city's never going to sleep ever again.
Yeah, nah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap right now because right now we got everybody on. I tell everybody, they got to excuse my friends, hey, stay in your house, learn something, get your crap up, have say. That's all I can say. That's how you get through this.
It's the best way. It's some great advice. It's all you really can do, unfortunately. Gotta have a little bit of fun, you know?
Up in your house.
So I have to ask you, what's next for you, DJ 2020? Anything else you want to promote? I do know you recently just released a book as well, if you want to tell us a bit more about that.
That's another. See, this is what legendary icons do. Not only did I write the book, not only did I have the book published, but right now you can get my book in the New York Public Library, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, any of them libraries connected to New York. You can get my book. You can get it on Kindle. Anyway, it's called The Brick Out of Places. It's about everything like what me and you talk about, but more in depth. It's more in depth, more straight to the point stories about me growing up, stories with me being with Flash, stories with me going to high school. This is a damn movie. If you read this book, it's a movie. My first encounters with messing with girls. It's oh my God, this book is incredible. Not to say it because I wrote it. I'm just being honest, because sometimes when I read it back, I can't believe I wrote it. But it's the truth. And anytime you write the truth, of course it's going to be incredible. And that's how I feel about that book. It's called The Brick Out of Place. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. Like I said, Kindle. Anywhere, any bookstore, any digital bookstore on the internet got my book. EPUB, MOV, MOBI, whatever they call them, different formats. You can get my book in all type of formats.
And when you actually mentioned the book's like a movie, do you think maybe in the long run you might be able to turn the book into like a documentary of your life?
I tried that already. If you go back to my Facebook history, I was working with these cats from Stage 32. They the ones that did Fruitvale Station or whatever, Fruitvale Station, that movie. They wanted to take my book and do that, but they told me I had to get somebody to make it into a screenplay rather than book form. And I found somebody to do that. They just never got on that, so I don't know. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think my life is that interesting that it should be a movie. I want somebody to play me. I want these little handsome guys to play me.
And I do have to ask you this. This is the time in the interview, DJ 2020, that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the show. Just a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. And also your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you if they're not already doing so.
Well, basically, I'm going to give a shout-out to my cousin, the original MC War Flattop, because he's doing my man, the specialist, my boy, tremendous. Let me see, who else I mess with? Geechee Dan, like I said, Adam Silverstein. Keeping it real, keeping it raw entertainment, Joyce Ann, Amanda Christine, they doing their thing, too. Y'all got to check them out. They be getting busy. There's a lot of people. My man, DJ Super C, Ted Smooth. It's a whole bunch of people. Kid Capri. It's a whole bunch of people I can shout out. So everybody just know this DJ 2020 talking. You know I gave a shout out to all of y'all. So y'all know who all of y'all is because I deal with y'all. Like my man Superstar J. And y'all can find me at just go to Facebook and look up War Fleet DJ 2020. You can find me right there. But all you got to really do is just Google me. Put Lamar Gardner or DJ 2020. Either you spell out DJ 2020 or you put 20/20. I'm all over the internet. I'm not even trying to. I'm not even capping on that. I'm being real. I'm just telling people for real. I'm everywhere. I'm not hard to find. I don't hide nothing. Just like my book. I don't hide nothing.
I gotta say, DJ 2020, thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio, man. It was an absolute honor and most definitely a privilege. It's not every day you get to have a legend like yourself on the platform, so man, thank you so much, and I hope yourself stay safe and have yourself a wonderful week.
Yo, don't let me walk away without giving you a big shout out to Outlaw Radio, Brandon. You know, you my dude, son. You gave me a shot, and I like that because all that do is make me feel better. I still want to be heard. People still want to listen to me, and I love it, man. Thank you. You know?
You're most certainly welcome, man. My goal with this platform is to help keep a real hip-hop culture alive, man, and you did a hell of a lot for the hip-hop culture, especially on the East Coast of things.
It's still going. It's still going. Energizer Bunny, still going.
Hey, man, ain't gonna stop either, you know what I mean? Because Trying to stop the Easter Bunny, the Energizer Bunny, man, it's just not gonna work.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be dead in the box, and I'll still be out here because I'm leaving enough work. I'm leaving the blueprint out here for people. It's not hard. I'm leaving the blueprint. All some of these young guys got to do is just get on their game. Stop thinking about the money and get on your game. You have more success that way than worrying about the money going to come regardless.
And that's some real talk, man. It really is some really good advice.
Right. So when you get on up out here, you do you. Thanks for having me, and I feel great today.
Hey, man, you're most certainly welcome, man, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully down the road we can do this again.
Whenever you're ready.
Most definitely. Have yourself a wonderful night.